I've been a completely rubbish vlogger today. Even more rubbish because this is in a really bad angle. Hang on. If I pop my phone under it, that's a bit better, isn't it? Although you might now get an angle up my nose. Oh, my battery's about to go now as well. Okay, really quickly. It is now about 25 to 5. I have filmed literally nothing. Just the morning shots and making a cup of tea, I think. Didn't even go for a walk at lunchtime. And my battery's about to go and I need to get home and I need to go via my mum's house because I need to pick up some duvets, and I will explain all of that shortly. In the blink of an eye for you, but in a couple of hours for me. I'll see you shortly. Okay, I'm home. I had to come home a funny way because I had to go via my mum's to pick up some duvets. Hang on, I made some notes so I didn't forget what I wanted to say. Okay, so first things first, the duvets. Okay, stress levels so far above my head and through the newly plastered ceiling, I can't even tell you. For some stupid reason, when Phoebe asked at the beginning of the week, we said to her yes when she asked if she could have some friends over for a sleepover tonight. So she has got 3 friends over, which means we've got 4 tweens, 12-year-old girls, currently in the garden in their pyjamas on the swing, going far too high after I've just asked them not to go too high, giving me a heart attack. I've only been in the house about 50 minutes. Dan's gone to bed because he's got a persistent headache that he can't shake. So he's gone to have a lie down. So I had to edit this is just me ranting and complaining. I do apologise. I had to get it off my chest. It's our own fault. We should never have said yes to a sleepover. We do not need a house. Please don't go that high. We're going to lose one of them. We shouldn't have said yes to having a house full of tweens when everything that's going on is going on and our house is upside down. And I'm at the hospital tomorrow for my pouchoscopy that I mentioned earlier in the week. So that's not ideal either because I feel a bit up in the air about that and I want to get it over with. And I'm just making an array of food for them. So 4 of them. We're going to have nuggets, curly fries, sausage rolls, crisps and all that kind of thing. Not so high! So yeah, the other thing I wanted to mention, I'm not going to put the air fryer on just yet because it makes a noise. The other thing I just wanted to mention was I haven't filmed much today. That was because I got to work and I was caught in traffic and I got to work on time, but usually I get to work about half an hour early, and so I felt like I was kind of catching up with myself a bit. And then, don't go so high, please. Oh yeah, show everyone your hair that your friend did for you. It's beautiful. Can you not? I really don't want to have to call anyone's parents and say they've broken their neck.
It's only because Ellie leant forward.
Yeah, okay, but please be careful. Why can't children shut doors normally? Why does it always have to be slammed? Where was I? Yes, not filming because it was a busy day and I had lots to do. It was a fun day. Sandy dropped in. Sandy's someone that I bumped into a couple of times around the grounds walking her dog. No, that's not true. Not a couple of times. Once. Her lovely dog Bella, and she popped in to see one of the performances that was going on in the next door gallery. So we were watching that together, and it was really lovely to see her and have a chat, and her lovely friend as well. So hi Sandy, if you're watching. And yeah, that was really nice. So I just didn't film anything, and also I'm just feeling all over the place because of everything that's going on. The kitchen, yes, that's a faff, but I think really I'm annoyed at myself for saying yes to having a house full when it's just really not a good idea. Okay, I'm going to start cooking and then I'm going to update you a bit more when I'm not watching the health and safety nightmare that's going on in my garden. Sorry, the air fryer's on, but I just wanted to say because I'm now eating leftover curly fries and they're stone cold, and it reminded me when I used to work in a pub in London, before the end of my shift I used to order a plate of curly fries so that it would be cold by the time I finished my shift, and I used to drink them with a pint of beer, pint of lager. And I used to love cold curly fries, but they're not so appealing now I'm a grown up. Need a lager. I might have a Prosecco actually. Dan has just got up, it's now 8 o'clock and he's good for nothing. So I'm just making Lilia's pizza. The girls have eaten. An air fryer just fed 4 12-year-olds. Pizza, chips, curly fries, nuggets, the lot. Brilliant. And yeah, I'm going to stop talking because it's loud. Thought I'd give you a bit of a kitchen update. They're all upstairs in Phoebe's room, which is here, and they've been jumping up and down, and we just had to go up and tell them to stop it because I was worried it's going to affect the plaster. Quite tempted to text the builder and say, do I have grounds to tell them just to shut up? This was the main thing that happened today. The kitchen ceiling was plastered because it was all this funny little textured stuff before. The walls themselves don't need plastering, but the ceiling did. So now we've got this lovely light bulb. And... yeah. No, I said and, not Dan. And this wall is now plastered as well. Everything feels so dark and murky. Let's never paint this wall a dark colour. Dan's eating leftovers and the cat's looking hopeful, but she's having none of it. I'll balance you back there on the book, on top of the tea caddy. Cheers. Here's a little Friday night Prosecco. I can't have too much Friday night Prosecco as my pouchoscopy is at 10:30 tomorrow morning, and I need to get up early because I need to do something that if I told you would be far too much information, so I won't. Yeah, let's just say I need to be prepared for it. I have just published my video. I keep looking up there for the clock, but it's not there. It's 8:15, so it's just gone up now. I haven't even done the description or the endy bit, you know, where it comes up with, you know, what to watch next and things. Haven't done that yet. I'll do that in a minute, but it's up now, and I included in it a little bit of a chat that I had, which I wasn't sure I was going to leave in, and I'm a bit nervous having done so, because I was talking about bras and a tiny bit about how I feel about my body over the years in terms of having had chronic illness, and how I sort of came to sort of forgive my body for what it had done to me. But I only went into it very briefly, and now I'm like, oh, I hope I said it in the right way. I'm sure a lot of you will be able to empathise. I'm sure a lot of you have had very, very similar experiences. So, yours. I can't even tell you how stressed out I am right now. It is not the kitchen that's stressing me out. The house is all over the shop, and that's fine. It's, you know, someone said in the comments the other day, you can't, what is it, you can't make a cake, or you can't make an omelette without breaking eggs. So that's fine. It's the fact that Phoebe's got 3 friends round on a normal, normally that would be something we'd say yes to for a birthday party. Did I say this already earlier? Probably. And it feels a bit too much for a Friday night when the house is upside down, and I think we didn't really think it through when we said yes. I think because we weren't in the thick of it at that point, I think I probably just didn't put 2 and 2 together. So I'll be glad when that's all over tomorrow. I think by this time tomorrow, everything will be tickety-boo, because we'll be down to 4 and the pouchoscopy will be over. And hopefully Dan's headache will be gone. Apart from the fact that it's Saturday, which in my opinion is the worst day of the week, but then the day after is Sunday, which is the best day of the week. I really am just talking nonsense now, aren't I? Right, I think I need to go and sit down and decompress for a bit. Actually, I need to put my pyjamas on. I'm still fully clothed. This is not a good situation for a Friday night. Pyjamas, then sit down. Thank you. Lilia's discovered Gossip Girl and is forcing us to watch it. I wanted to show you this. Oh, it's a bit dark. Let me move them into the light. Oh no, where the light is where the books are. It's all gone wrong. Let's get them in this little area here. There we go. So, these are tiny little ceramic thoughts. Are they in focus? Just about.
tiny little ceramic thoughts, and they form part of an installation that has been at the museum for quite some time. And the artist has got so many of them that she started selling them in the shop. And they were there today. I think half of the museum staff have bought them. So I went up and I thought, I'm going to get, they were really, really low priced. So I thought I'm going to get 4 of them to represent the family. So this one's Dan. Sorry, the light is so bad. I'll try and remember to show you in a better light. And this one's me because it's got frizzy hair. And then we've got the little Lilia and Phoebe at the front. Now, in reality, of course, Lilia and Phoebe are the same height as me. But, you know, to represent us as a family. I took them up to the till and I said to my colleague, I'm going to buy some of the thoughts. And she said, I just did as well, but I got one to represent each of the family. And I said, so did I. I was really excited that we did the same thing.
Hi, Mia. You're so beautiful. And blurry. Where are you? You're so pretty. Hello. Do you want to come down here where you like to sit, just beside me? Come on, I'll move my phone. Put your blanket here. Come on. Oh, she's gone somewhere else. So as you can see, here we are in the living room with the ironing board behind us and all kinds of paraphernalia. If you're just tuning in and you've never watched before, go back to the beginning of the month. It will explain everything. It's been a evening. Dan is here. Neither of us have eaten dinner. We just ate leftovers from the sleepover. Yeah. So we've had a mixture of sausage rolls, just beige food.
Kids party food.
Yeah, beige food basically. Sausage rolls, curly fries, chicken nuggets. Secretly, I quite enjoyed it. I couldn't be bothered with anything else. So I'm just having as you can see, I've got my E45 that I showed you yesterday that I bought. And I've got a full glass of Prosecco here, which I'm going to drink before I go to bed. And the cat is here, and the girls are upstairs with face masks on, kind of simmering down. I've had to go in and I tried to do the Friends, but apparently that's lost on 12-year-olds.
Well, they have no reference point because they've never seen Friends.
They didn't know. They all just looked at me like, what? And what else do I have to say? Oh yes, audiobooks. I'm probably going to ask this and then I'll come up with a solution, and then by the time you see this you'll then give me a better solution, but I'm going to say it anyway. I finished Other Minds. I absolutely loved it, and I spoke the other day about how I find it a bit tricky doing star ratings, you know, in a public way. But I've come to the conclusion that if a book is 5 stars, it's about the feeling, not the thought. That doesn't make sense, does it? You just know when a book is 5 stars. I heard giggling. I think they're going to go and flood the bathroom taking off face masks now. Yeah, you just know when a book is 5 stars, and Other Minds for me was a definite 5-star book. It was very scientific and totally factual. A non-fiction book, basically.
I'm going to listen to that after I finish Deathly Hallows.
Honestly, it was so interesting. Like it's only about 6 hours long, 6.5 hours long. The first bit is about very early on sort of evolution of species. Very, very scientific and in-depth. And I was beginning to think, oh my goodness, this is not the book for me. And then it just gets into I was going to say...
Octopillars.
No, I was going to say a mixture of octopus and mollusks, octopuses, and giant cuttlefish as well. And it was just fascinating. And I thought that obviously one person's perfect narrator is another person's like ear grater, but I thought the narrator did a brilliant job. The book is written in a very accessible way. I'm not a scientist, and it's not really something... Why are you laughing?
You're not a scientist. No.
I might have to bleep that out. Yeah.
I'm not a scientist. I'm not clever.
You are clever. You're
I
just
don't
not a
understand much the way of the world. But it was written in such an accessible way, and the language was not at all patronising, and the way it was read, the narrator, I thought was really good. I just thought it was a brilliant book, and really quite short as well. You know, I just listened to it over the course of the week, and I really enjoyed it. And then I went to listen to my other audiobook that I had saved this morning and realised that it wasn't an audiobook, it was a ebook. And the audiobook's not available at the moment on the free library service. So then I entered a kind of period of indecision and just ended up listening to a couple of episodes of the brilliant Joe Mosley's Paddleboarding Sunshine? No, that's not what it's called. Joe Mosley's podcast, which was brilliant.
Do you know what I'm going to listen to shortly? We recently watched The Gold, the series about the Brinks-Mat gold robbery back in the 80s.
Which all happened round here.
All round here. And there is a podcast about John Palmer, who was the guy that was acquitted of smelting the gold.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And the history of him and his criminal background. It's a six-parter. That sounds really, really interesting, so I'm going to listen to that.
That does sound good. Right, I think you've had enough of us bleating on for one day, or enough of me bleating on. So I'm going to go and drink my drink, watch the final episode of Bad Education, and then get up for tomorrow to go to the hospital. Okay. Cheers. Dan's not drinking because he's feeling peaky.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers.
See you tomorrow from the giggling pre-teens upstairs and me and Dan. Stop talking.